What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Half Cent Reddit News and Reviews for the game Marvel Strike Force. In today's topics, we have one comedic topic, one suggestion to improve gameplay, and then a third topic in regards to a recently posted video featuring one of our fellow content creators, Valley Flyin'. So without further ado, let's get into our topics for the day. The first topic we're going to talk about is, after the Arena Store update, all I can say is, don't update the Blitz Store. This comes from user Karma is Dead. He further says, there is a lot of things Scopely can do to the Blitz Store. Let's not pester them about it, and hopefully they'll leave it alone. This is in response to the recent quote-unquote upgrade to the Arena Store that was released into the game. Prices were changed, there was a few things added, and of course new stuff is always good, new stuff is always fun, but the pricing difference between old tunes, new tunes, and featured tunes is not ideal, let's say. You know, it feels like the Arena Store update was just a further way to try and pacify the community without actually doing something, because paying an extra $9.50 for Red Guardian when it was supposed to be $12.50 is kind of nice, but that's still 450 credits above everybody else in the store that you were purchasing previously. Just gonna let you stew with that kind of knowledge if you hear me. On to the second topic of the day. Second topic coming from user B2 the Free. B2 the Free says, you know what would be great? An auto basic button. Throwing up a Mr. Boomer suggestion, for those of you who don't know, that's also fellow content creator OMG/mobile gamer, however you know them. Yeah, that's a pretty straightforward suggestion. It's something I know that the entire community has talked about and multiple people have asked for multiple times. It would be nice that when you're running raids or Dark Dimensions and you've got it pretty much sewn up, but you still have to pay attention and you can't slap it on auto because all your tunes will use their ultimates and leave you kind of effed for the next round. There should absolutely be a auto basic button. It would be very, very beneficial to all of the endgame players, all of the endgame content. And it would be a nice little addition to the game just to simply show that your player base and your community is appreciated. You know, come on, no one wants to sit there for the last minute of the match just spam clicking the basic button. It's not that fun. And if you do enjoy that, I don't know how to help you. But keep doing what you're doing, keep enjoying the game the way that you enjoy the game, as long as you're having fun with it. Now on to our serious topic of the day. User Tiger Consistent writes, Jason Bender interview dash, am I the only one gold poor? No, you're not. Let's start off with that. This user reads, I'm sure most of you have seen it on Valley Flying's channel. First off, I want to say that it's great to hear from people within the MSF team candidly. I think a lot of his comments do provide some perspective for what they have to wrestle with and try to deliver a good game. Okay. What I do find annoying, however, is the amount of time focused on the bugs seems like a red herring to me. Am I in the minority with seeing bugs only as a mostly minor inconvenience and an avenue for free shards in the apology messages that they send to us? Yes, you are alone. Not to downplay the gold problem, because the gold problem is still just as big of a problem in the community that everyone is having a hard time dealing with. But trying to say that the bugs are negligent or negligible is not the way I would go about that, because the bugs for a lot of people are game crashing. Like, for example, Silver Surfer, his ultimate has a tendency for some players to lock up the entire game and halt whatever you're doing, so you have to exit out, restart, start all over what you did. If you want to get the energy back for whatever you were doing, you have to open up a ticket. It's a big pain. So yes, if the way that you play the game has yielded very minimal bugs, then kudos to you. I'm not going to say anything bad about you just because you're not experiencing the same difficulties as others is. Some people just have better luck. I, for one, don't use Silver Surfer that often outside of war, so I don't have to deal with him crashing the game as often. But it's still a problem. It's still a bug, and it's still something that multiple players have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, and it's something that should be fixed. Moving on. My big beef, that from what I can tell from my experience, is the gold economy is broken. You'll get no argument from me there. The sources to achieve gold from spending energy in the occasional gold orb is static and minuscule compared to the monumental gold requirements as level upgrades get higher. Off the top of my head, I would guess that the average gold orb is worth 200k, and we get one every 1.5 days. Those numbers seem accurate. They're obviously not a representation of the exacts that go on in the game, but it's a good guesstimate. If I had to guesstimate, I don't think too many people pull the million drop from gold orbs all the time. It is relatively minimal in comparison to the amount of gold that you need towards the end of the game. He further writes, yet to increase each character a single level above 65 or so averages around the 400k mark, compounded by the gold being the only real shop to consistently be able to purchase T13 uniques and T15 pieces. It would be nice to have this more heavily acknowledged by content creators and the developers that brings this to the forefront. I can't speak for all content creators when I say this is not something that gets tossed to the wayside all the time. I don't know how often you, as a person, check out these channels of the fellow content creators such as Valley Flying or Mobile Gamer or Reminex, but these things are referenced quite frequently. I, for one, I know at least twice a week I talk about the gold bottleneck in MSF, so I don't know where you're getting your information thinking that content creators and developers aren't aware of this, or that some content creators, at least some content creators, aren't acknowledging this problem. I don't know, bud. I don't know where you're getting your information. I am not going to argue with you, however, on the fact that end game content is so gold lacking that it's unnecessary. It's a very unnecessary bottleneck that the amount of gold you need to move on or move forward in the game is not directly related to how much effort you can put forward. Unfortunately, gold is tied pretty heavily to a pay-to-play mechanic, and it's just something that until that aspect of the game is changed or the amount of gold drops in the game change, or maybe a suggestion we could have is end content people or people who have already hit 80 or people who are after a certain point, they can get access to a different form of gold orb that actually rewards gold on a scale that would be relevant to how much we actually need it in game. Just a suggestion from me. That's just a personal opinion, as are all of the topics and all of the opinions in this video are my opinion, just my opinion. I'm not trying to belittle anyone's point of view at all. I'm just putting in my 2 cents. The gold bottleneck is real. I'm not going to belittle that. Saying content creators don't cover it, I don't know where you're doing your research, but it's covered quite often. I've heard Mobile Gamer talk about it, I've heard Reminex talk about it, I've heard Valley talk about it, and multiple other content creators. All in all, it seems like there are just certain parts of this game that we would be very, very happy to see fixed. And on that note, that's going to be the end of our video. Thank you for checking in, and thank you for watching this video. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It costs you nothing and it helps us out tremendously. That's it. I hope you enjoy your weekend. See ya.